Yo, right here in the small box. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tapped in with the Flexion Mind Network, all right? You tapped in with Big Canada around here, okay? So, with that being said, like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the vibe. You tapped in with your favorite Canadian reaction channel and network. Let's go ahead and dive in and get started with this bad boy right here. All right, let's go.
It looks like TDE Punch decided to step in this Lupe Fiasco, no pun intended. He decided to come in and see what was going on with all the things that Lupe has been saying for the past several days. All the things circulated around Kendrick Lamar. People have been saying that all of these live streams that he's joined, he comes off very jealous of Kendrick Lamar. And some people say that he comes off very bitter. And after the recent live that he did with Culture United, it looks like TDE Punch has decided to come in and talk to him and see what's going on personally, not on a live stream, but through a private conversation.
As you
where TDE
should.
Punch has now went in public and said that not only did he have this conversation, but also that they found some type of resolvement and that there's no real static between Lupe and Kendrick Lamar.
Connor.
Now, TDE and Lupe have had a solid relationship. It wasn't too long ago where Lupe was on Absol's album. So there has always been this mutual respect between the label, the people affiliated with Kendrick Lamar, and Lupe Fiasco. But when he goes on live streams and talks to other people, it seems to give off a different attitude. It seems to be the other way around. However, after TDE Punch had spoken to him, he said that everything is all good. Punch comes out here and says, just had a great conversation with Lupe. It's all love and respect on both ends. We spoke about context, misunderstandings, misinterpretations, and intentions. Spoke about everything from the monster freestyle and the 2010 live stream up until his recent visits on various podcasts. It's no smoke, LOL. Just lighthearted, friendly hip-hop conversation. Everyone relax. Respect the art form. Now, two things to tackle in this post that he had shared. One is obviously the 2010 live stream. If you don't know, there has been a clip going around of Kendrick Lamar and Punch talking on a live stream, and Lupe's name gets brought up, and where Punch says that Lupe isn't like that anymore. We'll play the clip right now.
The most lyrical MC since Eminem? Eminem is a monster. You put me up against that white boy, but I ain't backing down though. Eminem's the best. Eminem holds the throne for playing on words, the best all time. The best on playing on words.
Eminem is probably somebody who should be in the conversation for rap battles. Y'all can tell me how you feel about Eminem. I personally always thought that Eminem was one of the best lyricists to ever do it. The best with playing on words and perfect rhyming, all that. You tell me how you feel about that. But Kendrick seems to know ball.
Of all time. Who want to argue? We still got Lupe. We talking about Eminem here. Eminem plays on words the best of all time. Punch. Tell me everything I'm supposed to be saying, Punch. Because Punch got the shit down to the signs. I'm gonna let y'all see. I'm gonna be the puppet for Punch right now. Pause. Best timing, best play on words.
So the chat brings up Lupe after Kendrick had spoke on Eminem. And when the question came about Lupe, let Punch answer that, and I'll give you Punch's response. Not Kendrick's response. He's giving Punch's response.
Big L. Lupe fell off.
Damn.
I am still Punch as Lupe fell off. Y'all agree?
And I want to echo this again. This is Punch saying this. This is why Punch is talking about that on his post today. It's because of what he said. This is not Kendrick saying it.
They killing you, Punch. They say you crazy. Well, Punch say Lupe Fiasco doing too many fairy tale raps. It ain't organic and realistic anymore.
Oh my God. Here we go again. Fairy tale raps is crazy. And I see why they had this conversation.
Yo, that is wild. I literally just missed it. I don't even know what that said, but I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm sorry I missed that.
Conversation. I'm sure Lupe didn't like that even now, many years later, a decade plus later, and they're barely having this conversation now. I feel like the conversation between Lupe and Punch was very different than it is online. I'm sure that Lupe's tone changed a lot. We'll keep it alleged, but I don't think that he was going as crazy as he was on the internet. Fairy tale rhymes is diabolical. Too much make-believe, too much fairy tale, too much nonsense. And this is back in 2010. Another thing that Punch had said during the fairy tale comment was that it doesn't seem real anymore. He said it ain't organic or realistic anymore. And I think that's a valid point from Punch. I think that's just the criticism or commentary that he's decided to give back in 2010 during this random live stream. But again, music is subjective. And what goes for you is not going to go for anybody else. What people appreciate.
See, if we're going to be talking about 2010, bro, I just got a question, man. I kind of talked about it earlier when we were chatting. But, bro, 2010. That's when Nothing on You came out with like the Bruno Mars project, right? If you were awarded or given that feature, Nothing on You, where you were supposed to take B.O.B's spot, but because you didn't want it, B.O.B got that. If we're talking about a career launch for you to come back, Nothing on You would have been perfect. Sir, you could just say yes. Bruh, I remember that song. That song flew everywhere. That whole project Bruno Mars put out flew everywhere. The hell? Should have used that to your advantage.
Somebody else might not rock with, and that's just fair game. That's how it is when people are listening to music. When they critique the music that they're listening to, they're going to have a different feel for it. If that's the way that Punch felt at the time, that's the way that he felt. You can't knock him for that. Some might agree, some might say that he's tripping, but the fact that it's got to the point where they have to have a conversation about that 16 years later, on top of the other things that have been going on, him going on Quality, him going on Culture United, the Rap Roundtable on Jason's, everything, bro. It's crazy how now they had to have these conversations about everything that could have bothered him, including the Monster freestyle where Kendrick did name Lupe.
Think about it. Every platform that he went to was just a mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, to the point where Punch is like, all right, nigga, come here. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you because you running around wilding. You running around on these YouTube streets wilding. All right, come inside. Let me talk. We got to talk. We got to sit down and talk. Because the way you moving outside, you wilding. The hell? All right, this is where you play.
Back in 2010, again, around the same time where Punch had made that statement on the live stream, is where Kendrick did name Lupe Fiasco. And to be honest, before Control, there was the Monster freestyle. I think this was a similar thing that Kendrick did, where he named all the people that he wanted to be better than. And one of those people was Lupe Fiasco. I'm going after Kanye, Lupe Fiasco and Nas, Snoop Dogg and Mr. Dre, Eminem, Busta Rhymes. So I get it, bro. Like, this was the first time that he named Lupe, put him in a rhyme. So if Punch is having a conversation with Lupe about this freestyle, also, I could only assume that there was something bothering him about this. We'll keep it alleged. But if they're having a conversation many years later, I could only assume that this rubbed him the wrong way, just like the Control verse rubbed him the wrong way. And there is many things that have bothered Lupe over the years. He talks about it a lot in Culture United. He talked about it in several other podcasts. But on this episode yesterday, it felt like he was getting a lot of things off his chest. Some things not even pertaining to the conversation at hand, not even pertaining to Kendrick Lamar. It was just a whole bunch of things I felt like bothered him. And he took time to be on this platform to vent and get it off of his chest. And at the same time, it feels like a lot of his frustrations aren't really at Kendrick. It seems like a lot of his frustrations are at the fans. And sometimes, I guess, when he brings up Kendrick or when Kendrick gets brought up, there's signs of bitterness or jealousy, because he never got the support from the fans like Kendrick does. The support that Kendrick has is enormous. It's such at a high level. And I think that's the support that Lupe always wanted, but never could get. The one thing that I will say is that if Lupe could have these conversations in private, I don't know why he just doesn't admit these things in public. If everything is a misunderstanding, if everything is spoken out of context or a misinterpretation, why doesn't he correct the narrative where it started, which was in these live streams, in people's channels? Why does he have to have a conversation with Punch in private to admit that everything was a mistake? I think the apology needs to be just as loud as the disrespect. If he was willing to talk this crazy online, not only about Kendrick, he said some crazy shit about other people. I think there's a clip going around of him talking crazy about Nas. There was so many things that he would say, and the fact that he is willing to just correct himself in private instead of correcting himself in public, just like he's been disrespecting in public, it only makes me question if he truly means it. I think Punch having this conversation with Lupe was him trying to check his temperature. But I think Lupe, like always, is trying to talk himself out of a conversation, trying to weasel way out of the disrespect that he's been doing for the past few days. And it just goes to show the moment that the person that he has a problem with, or the camp that he has an issue with or been talking about in a negative light, confronts him, he decides to say it's a misunderstanding. You could tell me if I'm missing something here, but I think the apology needs to be louder than the disrespect. If you're willing to have this conversation in private, I think you should just correct yourself in public, since that's where it started from. Either way it goes, I hope after this conversation, Lupe could put everything to rest. Hopefully now he doesn't decide to join people's live streams anymore. Hopefully now he could stop saying out of pocket shit. But honestly, I'll find that hard to believe. At this point, I think it's embedded in his DNA. We'll see how things go moving forward, but y'all can tell me how you feel about this, what you think about the conversation that happened last night with Culture United. I'll probably go live and talk about that, react to that. Y'all let me know in the comment section. How do you feel about this news today? Let me know in the comments. Like the video, hype the video, subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to donate to the channel, the Cash App's the top right corner of the video, and the link is in the description for the Patreon also. Let me know how you feel about this, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace. Keep it a legend.
It's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. Look, first of all, who said it? I forgot who said it. But man, this thing with Koala, bro, he really be reuniting with people because of that. Koala just out here just bringing other people together. Look at him being great. Excuse-moi. But I mean, what more can I say? I mean, I'm pretty sure I sat here and talked for like an hour and a half straight off this. But bro, you did this to yourself. That's what people are not getting. These bigger channels are not understanding that. They're not getting that. That's crazy. That is crazy. How you guys not understanding this? He did it to himself. If you just understood the situation, did some light research, you would have figured it out. He made himself look crazy in front of all of us. And now they're trying to spin narratives, trying to say Koala's crazy. Koala's broke. Yo, come on. I never thought on the YouTube spaces I hear another woman calling the next man broke. Come on, bro. God, broke? Brokey? Broke? Come on, bro. Serious? Of all the live streams, too. Why? That's the part that I don't get. Of all the live streams, it had to be on Culture United. I hear that from. That's the disappointing part. Koala say, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. I swore I saw somebody say it in the chat here though. That's the only thing. But yeah, this situation, man, it's shout out to all the right channels, okay? They'll read who else? Torture, Miss Hummus. I know she gonna talk. But shout out to all the right channels, man. Just shout out to all the right channels, cause all these other channels, man. If this how y'all protect your great, ay.